Topic 60, examining the essay question. By the end of this podcast, you should be able to understand that the first step to answering an essay question is deciphering the question, comprehend the difference between various common verbs or prompts used in many essay questions, and identify the two most important steps in examining an essay question. Most, if not all, of your humanities courses in college, as well as other classes in the sciences and social sciences, require that you demonstrate your mastery of a subject in essay form. Unfortunately, many high school students have never been taught how to write an effective essay. So when they arrive to college, the prospect of writing an essay of any length totally freaks them out. Well, there's no need to panic. In podcasts 60 through 69, I will take you through the 10 steps for writing an effective essay. While these steps may prove useful in other disciplines, I've crafted them for my own history, so you will want to check with your other professors before using these guidelines in other coursework. The first step to writing an effective essay of any length is to examine the question. This seems like an obvious point, but I cannot tell you how many times I have read an essay that is slightly or significantly different than the question asked. Merely reading the question is insufficient. You need to pick it apart, word by word or phrase by phrase. The most important word in any essay question is the verb, because the verb describes the type of task you must perform. For example, if a question asks you to evaluate, the professor wants you to give your opinion or make a judgment on the topic. On the other hand, if the question requires you to describe, you need to provide many examples to illustrate a situation or phenomenon. If you're uncertain of the meaning of the verb used in the essay question, look it up in the dictionary or ask the professor to clarify. P.S. You can only do the latter if you start the assignment as soon as it's given out, rather than waiting till the night before it's due to start it. The next most important step in examining the essay question is to make sure your response answers every single part of the question. For example, if the essay question reads, "Describe the responses of slaves and freed African Americans to slavery and analyze how the institution of slavery changed between 1775 and 1830, your response must contain 3 parts. First, a description of slaves' response to slavery. Second, a description of freed African American responses to slavery. And third, an analysis of how the institution of slavery changed between 1775 and 1830. Many students will use the distinct tasks required in the essay question as the basis of their paragraphs. In this case, the question lends itself quite nicely to a 3-body paragraph essay. Other questions, especially those that are rather broad, will not lend themselves to such a neat paragraph organization. In that case, you must impose some sort of order onto your evidence yourself. But that's the subject of our next podcast. For now, remember to take 5 or more minutes before responding to any essay by examining the question, especially to fully understanding the verb used and the distinct tasks required. Good luck, and see you in the next podcast.